Brad Samuels here from Foundations. I am up in Dunster, British Columbia, which is a tiny little town in the northern region. I'm on my way up to Prince George, which is even more north, going to visit some friends, and my girlfriend's family lives up there. But we've stopped here in Dunster, and Dunster is really cute. It's this little tiny town. I'm not even sure. I think it's just 1,000 people or something that live here. I don't know how many, but there's no one around. And even this property we're on is like 100 acres. Lots of just beauty, really fresh air. I found this really cool school bus. There's lots of stuff just like this. It's overgrown, and I don't know what year it's from, but it's beautiful. Our friends actually lived in this thing for some time. Yeah, what's really great about Dunster is though how quiet it is. The pace of life is just grinded down to a halt, and the urgency of anything is just also down to a much more moderate way than it would be in the city of Vancouver or any other big city. So it really is a good place to think, and that's what I want to talk about today is the peacefulness that when you get out of the city, when you get some time to really laser in and think about things, and then just the power of decision making in our lives, which is what I want to talk about today, decisiveness. So I kind of made a little illustration here that could maybe help illustrate the way I think about decisiveness. But I know I struggle a lot in my life to make decisions, and a lot of the time you've got a whole bunch of different options that you're trying to figure out and make a decision. Should I do this? Should I do that? And with that comes a lot of lost energy and attention, and most of all stress of just like not knowing which way to go and what to do. Often for me, it's grounded in that I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do in the first place, like being clear on my vision for my life and how my decisions are aligning with that. But this is kind of how I've entertained it. It's a lot of energy gets lost, just energy that you could be putting towards actual creative problem solving in any given direction. So say you have two options, sometimes you have even more, 3 or 4 different things you're trying to decide between, but that only really leaves room for, let's say, 25% creative problem solving on option 1 and maybe 25% creative problem solving on option 2. Meanwhile, the rest of your energy is just like, should I even do this or do that in the first place? And I'm just trying to illustrate how much energy and attention we often waste just in indecision, really, and it's a really stressful thing, indecision. Vice versa, I know that just statistically, a lot of CEOs, a lot of people that are in leadership positions, they tend to be very decisive in what they're going to do and give their full attention to something. They make the decision, and then all of their energy can go towards creative problem solving. So like, here's a kind of a little diagram of that. So your typical CEO or someone who's an executive in any given category, whether it's business or something else, they tend to be very just decisive. They make the call, and then the benefit of that is that they can actually creatively go for what they want to do and be really imaginative and creative towards it, and just give it a full effort without having to switch back and forth. It's kind of like multitasking, which doesn't usually tend to be all that efficient because you keep having a lot of energy lost on switching cost. So maybe you could think about a time in your life, or even right now, something that you're trying to decide between. And I encourage you to just kind of, what I do is I tend to just kind of, when you really dive deep and you find a place that's peaceful, maybe you take a weekend alone and you really just tune into your heart space to kind of get a feeling for what do you really want and what is your life about. That's a question I often ask myself, is just what is my life all about and where am I going? Because that usually tends to clarify what I should be doing. And that way I have that ability to be decisive in my life and be like, that's the way to go, even when it's the harder way. It's kind of like burning the boats. People that don't have a plan B, it's like all the effort can go towards making plan A work. If you ever listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he talks about it all the time, right? He hates plan B, and that's kind of what you get when you're indecisive, is plan B, C, and D even sometimes. So hopefully that helps. If you know anyone else that could benefit from this message, share the video, and we'll see you guys next time.